You know what's actually over 9,000? You guessed it right, Namekian Fusion. This type of fusion is like no other in the Dragon Ball universe. And well, sadly for us simple humans, it's strictly for Namekian use. No humans allowed. But not to worry, that won't stop me from putting on my old Sherlock hat and finding out more about it. What actually is Namekian Fusion? And why does it have the potential to be so OP? What makes it so different from the fusion dance or the use of them Potara earrings? But most importantly, why is Piccolo the most powerful of all the Namekians out there? If you're itching to find out, and I know you are, grab yourself a friend and join in the fusion dance. It's a well-known fact that fusion between characters is an important skill in the Dragon Ball universe. But what exactly does that thing do? Well, to make it simple, it basically merges two characters together, increasing their power levels and giving them a mix of both character skills. That's how we get the OP Gogeta or Vegito. Both are fusions between the high-spirited Goku and the grumpy Vegeta. They get different names because the way they fuse together is done in a very different way. Gogeta is the result of the fusion dance technique, while Vegito is created using the Kai-created Potara earrings. In the first technique, Goku and Vegeta have to, well, you guessed it, perform a little dance routine. Now that's what I call real fuel for fanfiction, if you catch my drift. In the second one, each warrior just has to wear one earring on opposite ears. And those sweet little pearls will act as magnets, making the two fighters crash into each other and become one. Kablow! While those are the most famous examples, there are other fusion techniques out there. The God Fusion, the artificially created X Fusion, Freeform Fusion, Five-Way Fusion, and as much as Akira Toriyama feels like. Because, well, Akira Toriyama's the boss. The main issue with these types of fusions is that unless you're an almighty Kai, you'll be separated from your new buddy in about an hour tops. You better kick some butt real quick. The fusion dance gives you even less OP time as it has an approximate lifetime of a very short 30 minutes. You think the Speed Force delivers to the Dragon Ball world? In contrast with a disgusting, gross, absorption technique, most fusions between mortals are not permanent. So don't worry, your favorite fighter out of the two will come back in one piece. Or at least if he survives, that is. This brings us lovely viewers to the main topic of our video. The amazing yet slightly troubling Namekian Fusion. Namekian Fusion, or assimilation in the Japanese version, is a unique technique reserved only for those mean green Namekians. Sorry, Super Saiyans, you can't have everything. On top of that, it is strongly believed to be a forever deal. Unlike my last marriage. This is so funny. Anyways, well that's according to the Dragon Ball lore, but Toriyama seems to enjoy bending his own rules. I'll get to that in a few minutes. This type of fusion has a special place in my heart since it was the first fusion ever to be featured in this show. It is almost sacrilegious. While Goku and Vegeta retain control over their consciousness inside of Gogeta or Vegito, the same does not apply to the fused Namekian. When two of our green friends decide to fuse together, one becomes the host while the other becomes the absorbed. Now listen, this is how it goes. The future host places his hand over the chest of his friend, and after an atomic bomb-like flash, the absorbed Namekian's body completely disappears. So whoosh! What remains is a leveled-up host with the skills and powers of his other friend. While the absorbed body is blown to smithereens, his consciousness lives inside the host, while being completely unable to control the body or make any valuable decisions. You know that little voice inside your head? Well, imagine having another one on top of that. The downside would be making important decisions like, should I order takeout for dinner or should I cook? And having those two voices fight over French fries versus kale salad. Talking about duality, it's worth mentioning the very rare technique called fission. Fission is simply the separation of one being into two. Only two characters performed it in the entire Dragon Ball series, the nameless Namekian and the evil pink Majin Buu. When the very originally named nameless Namekian tried to remove the evil from his soul, he ended up splitting himself into two different entities, Kami and King Piccolo. The fact that this nameless character has access to that skill hints at his very high power level. The vision caused both Kami and the now reincarnated Piccolo to share what is called a life link. To picture what the life link is, just think of an invisible thread attached between the two characters. That unbreakable bond binds their destiny together. So if Piccolo gets hit in the face or Kamehameha'd in the chest, Kami basically feels every bit of it. I can picture Kami hitting the lookout's floor, cursing at his younger half to keep it down. Okay, boomer.
I miss my wife so much. Come back.
Now it's time to focus on Piccolo. I don't mean the evil Demon King Piccolo. Not quite the old Guardian Kami Piccolo either. No, not the nameless Namekian Piccolo, but kind of, yes, but like not really. Okay, alright, let's just rewind a little bit. I'm talking about Piccolo Jr., who came out of King Piccolo's mouth as a green, gooey egg before he hatched. All this talk about eggs and I haven't even had my lunch yet. Well, anyways, Piccolo's power has increased a lot since he came out of that disgusting egg, making him one strong ally or opponent, depending on which side of the ring you stand. And believe me, you do not want to be on the other wrong side. But could he become even stronger if he would just go back to his previous form's evil ways? Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah, yes.
Okay, sorry, got a little carried away. So Piccolo started off as half of a powerful Namekian, right? But in time, he eventually got a boost in power through, what do you think? Correct. The one and only Namekian Fusion. It makes wonders. His first brush with the technique happened during one of Frieza's many attacks against the Z-Fighters. As he was gliding gleefully through the air like a bird enjoying the sight of pretty blue fields, he noticed an energy source coming from below. That energy source was none other than his fellow Namekian, Nail. Ah, Nail, what a name. And let's just say that Nail was not in very good shape, covered in pink blood and all. Nail was about ready to call it a day when he decided to teach Piccolo how to fuse. Yeah, you heard that right. Piccolo ended up accepting the offer while warning Nail that he would start charging rent after they defeat the never-ending threat that is Frieza. Let me tell you one thing, it must be quite an OP bill by now. You know what's more OP than that bill though? The fact that there's no limit on how many Namekians one can absorb. Yeah, you heard me right. None. Zero. Zip. This takes us to our friendly Namekian's second fusion. In what resembles more of a family reunion than an actual fusion, Piccolo merges with Kami, becoming a new variation of his old superpowered self. Having undone his original fission, Piccolo goes back to his Super Namekian form. This level can be reached when a Namekian achieves a higher level of consciousness. Being now 3 Namekians in 1, we get something like a Super Namekian Plus. Deku better watch out. So far it seems that Namekian fusion is a sort of taboo in Namekian culture. It's only used as a last resort when you-know-what hits the fan. It also seems like the host needs the absorbed's consent before performing the fusion. Or does it? Stay with me a little longer to find out. While Piccolo has been one of the rare fused Namekians for quite some time, it's no longer true. In fact, they seem to be in fashion in the Dragon Ball universe as of late. During the Tournament of Power, Gohan and Piccolo fight some other Namekians from another universe. In a sudden plot twist, it's revealed that both Namekians have fused with countless volunteers from Universe 6. The absorbed Namekians take a bit of time to be ingested into their systems, making them stronger by the minute. Against all odds, Gohan and Piccolo end up winning the fight. This proves that quality wins over quantity. But, because there's always a but, it's not clear what kind of Namekians the two Universe 6 fighters absorbed. I mean, if they became one with their grandmas, I have a feeling they wouldn't gain much power out of it. You pit a Super Namekian who's performed fission before against one who knows tons about knitting, and what do you think stands a chance? Another example of this logic can be seen in the manga when a bunch of Namekians merged together to create the Namekian Savior. While their poor hearts were into it, they kinda totally got wrecked by Moro, also cutely referred to as the Planet Eater. Let's take a moment of silence. Okay. So, as I have devilishly teased earlier, Namekian Fusion does not in reality necessarily require consent. Plot twist? Somebody please call the police! In fact, we learn in the video game Dragon Ball Online that Gamelan, the leader of the Dark Namekians, forcefully assimilated 3 Namekian slaves. Evil. Just pure evil. Undiluted evil. Now, as one of my teachers would say, what does that information do for you? Well, Sensei, this changes everything. The fact that a Namekian can fuse with as many fellow Namekians as he wishes means that there's no limit to powering up. And to add to that, the host can now use force to get these power boosts. We know for a fact that Piccolo is the reincarnation of a major villain, and nothing proves that he won't go back to his wicked ways. Before you take me for a madman with crazy theories, let me point you to a moment in the manga Dragon Ball Super, one that might have foreshadowed things to come. In Warriors of Earth Assemble, Vegeta uses a new technique he calls forced spirit fission. Well, you know where this is going, don't you? Yes, indeed, by using the technique, Vegeta can separate energy from his enemy and undo fusions. This also works for absorption techniques, bringing back to life the ones who have been assimilated into a host. Why is Vegeta's forced spirit fusion technique so relevant here? Well, because he kinda threatens Piccolo with it. When the Namekian asks him questions about his newfound ability, Vegeta literally tells him he could undo his fusions with Nail and Kami. Could this technique be what saves the universe from an eventual dark Piccolo? I have a feeling Toriyama is not randomly inserting these little hints, and there is something much darker coming our way. Think about it. If Piccolo goes ballistic and starts absorbing the strongest Namekians out there, he could eventually become almost unstoppable. And since the lore seems to keep changing as the story continues, he might even be able to fuse with non-Namekians at some point. The multiverse is clearly not ready for the wrath of Dark Piccolo. Well, are you feeling empowered yet? Do you agree with what's been said in this video? Let me know what your take is on Namekian Fusion in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more Dragon Ball videos. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and stay OP.